When curving to a ball along a rail, it's important to think about how much masse you want. Here we could elevate the cue a lot to curve to a direct hit on the 8. But if we curve the cue ball too much, we can miss the 8. A better approach here is to use less elevation and go rail first. This makes the shot easier since we have less elevation and less curve, and the rail gives us a much wider margin for error. We can come up well short or well long and still pocket the ball. Here's the angle and the amount of curve we want to shoot for to put us in the center of the range with the largest margin for error. When we are snookered behind a ball, we often have options to jump, masse, or kick. When deciding between a masse or kick shot, it is important to think about the shot line with the largest margin for error. Here a good option would be to use the shot we just saw, taking advantage of the rail. But if another ball blocked that path, a masse shot in the other direction is still a good option here because it comes into the line of the 8-ball pocket direction. If the 8-ball were here instead, the ideal line to the pocket is much different. Here the kick shot is a much better option with a much larger margin for error because it comes in closer to the line of the shot. In the early 1800s, a brilliant physicist and mathematician came up with a way to predict the curve direction of masse shots. His name was Gustav Coriolis, the same guy who discovered the Coriolis effect that helps explain how tornadoes and hurricanes form. Here's how it works. The line of action of the cue creates contact point B on the ball. If you imagine this line going all the way into the table, it defines aiming point A on the cloth. We also have to visualize resting point R on the cloth where the ball sits. Coriolis found out that the final direction of the cue ball after curving will be parallel to the line through resting point R and aim point A. We call the system the bar method. Contact point B on the ball results in aim point A on the cloth, and the line from resting point R gives us the final cue ball direction. Now, shot speed is also very important. With more speed, the cue ball curve takes longer, sending the cue ball farther down the table before curving to the final direction. However, the final direction angle of the cue ball is predicted to be the same for all speeds. With more cue elevation and more curve, you will need more speed to get the cue ball out and around obstacles. Now, the system isn't always perfect in the real world. With typical conditions, the curve will usually come up a little short of the predicted direction. Regardless, the system gives you a good aiming reference from which to adjust. Concerning equipment and technique, unlike with jump shots, it helps to use a heavier cue with a softer tip. It is also important to have a stable bridge. Here I'm resting my leg against the table and my bridge hand is firmly supported against my body. For more speed, use a longer bridge length so you can accelerate smoothly. And don't be afraid to follow through into the table. Now let's see how we apply the Coriolis bar method at the table. You first visualize the desired cue ball direction into the target. We don't need to curve the cue ball this much to get around the 11, but let's aim for this anyway to demonstrate the method. Now you visualize a line parallel to this through the resting point of the cue ball. This is what it looks like from above. Now we just have to make sure our aim point on the cloth is on this line through the resting point on the table. Actually, on this table we have to add a little bit extra angle because we don't get as much curve as predicted by the method. Now we have the necessary line of the cue with the tip pointing at the aim point on the cloth. Here, with softer speed, the cue ball will curve sooner rather than later. Here's the shot from above. With more speed, the curve takes longer, but we still head in the same final direction. As I mentioned earlier, we don't need this much curve to pocket this ball. We just did that to demonstrate the method. In general, you want to use as little curve as necessary to make the shot to keep the difficulty level lower. Although here, we might want to use a little more curve than necessary to take advantage of the larger margin for error offered by the rail. Here's the same shot as before, with a different aim point giving us a smaller curve.